Welcome to Heart of Home, where we explore the touching stories that define our lives and shape our most cherished family memories. Every home holds a secret history within its walls, a silent testimony to the love and sacrifice of those who built it. Our story begins with a curious young boy named Leo, who spent his childhood days sheltered by the safety of his home. His father was a hardworking man of few words, returning home every evening with the heavy dust of labor on his clothes. For Leo, his father was a giant, a strong protector, who always seemed to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders. One evening, while his father was washing up, Leo noticed something that he had never really paid close attention to before. He touched the rough skin, feeling the hard ridges of the calluses, contrasting sharply with his own soft and unblemished little palms. With a voice full of innocence, Leo looked up and asked Daddy, "Why are your hands so rough and full of bumps?" The father paused for a moment, looking at his weathered palms, and a gentle smile slowly formed on his tired face. He knelt down to Leo's level and whispered, "These hands are rough because I used them to build this home for you. Every callus you see is a brick I laid, and every scar is a piece of wood I cut for our roof." He explained that his hands took the damage so that Leo could have a safe, warm place to grow and to dream. Leo looked around the room, suddenly realizing that the walls protecting him were not just stone, but made of his father's love. That answer planted a seed in the young boy's heart, sparking a passion for creating structures that could shelter and protect people. He began to follow his father around, handing him tools, and watching intently as broken things were made whole again by hand. They built small things together, and Leo learned that building was not just about materials, but about care, precision, and enduring patience. As the years went by, the simple drawings turned into complex blueprints, and his childhood curiosity evolved into a serious professional ambition. While his father's back grew more bent from years of labor, Leo's mind grew sharper, fueled by the dream of becoming an architect. The day he was accepted into architecture school was a victory for the whole family, a testament to the foundation his father laid. Leaving home was bittersweet as he waved goodbye to the two people who had given him everything, promising to make them proud. University opened a new world of steel and glass, where professors spoke of aesthetics and height rather than the warmth of home. He spent countless sleepless nights mastering the art of design, pushing himself to the limit to understand the physics of construction. Whenever he felt like giving up, he remembered those rough hands that built his childhood home, and he found the strength to continue. Graduation day arrived, and his father stood in the crowd, his weathered hands clapping the loudest for the son who achieved his dream. Leo quickly climbed the ranks, designing modern office complexes and luxury apartments that were admired by critics and clients alike. His designs were flawless and grand, reaching for the sky symbols of modern success and architectural brilliance in the city. Yet standing at the top of these glass towers, he sometimes felt a hollowness that no amount of professional accolades could fill. One afternoon, a call from his mother brought news that his father was slowing down his strength, fading with the passing years. He drove back to the countryside, seeing the old house that had sheltered him, now looking tired and worn, just like his father. Sitting on the porch, he held those rough hands again, realizing that the time had come for him to return the favor. He decided to start his most important project, yet not a skyscraper for a client, but a sanctuary for his aging parents. He poured his heart into the design, focusing on comfort and accessibility, ensuring every corner would be safe for their tired bodies. Instead of just supervising from afar, Leo put on work boots and gloves, wanting to build this particular house with his own hands. He wanted to feel the weight of the bricks and the texture of the wood just as his father had done for him. Under the scorching sun, he worked day after day, his skin darkening and his muscles aching, but his spirit remained incredibly high. He checked every detail by lamplight, driven by a perfectionism that came from love, rather than a desire for professional recognition. His colleagues were puzzled why a famous architect would labor like this, but Leo knew some things must be built by heart. Slowly, his smooth architect's hands began to change, developing the same rough calluses and toughness that defined his father's hands. He looked at his blistered palms and smiled, finally understanding the true language of love that his father had spoken silently. The structure took shape, a beautiful, sturdy retirement home filled with light, surrounded by a garden where his parents could rest. He crafted the furniture himself, smoothing every edge so that nothing in the house could ever hurt the people he loved. Finally, the day came when the paint was dry and the garden was blooming, ready to welcome its new owners home. He drove his parents to the site, their eyes covered, guiding them gently toward the surprise that he had poured his soul into. When the blindfolds came off, they stood in silence, overwhelmed by the beauty and thoughtfulness of the home standing before them. His mother wept with joy, while his father stood silent, recognizing the love that was built into every beam and stone. Leo walked them through the rooms, showing them the features designed to make their golden years comfortable and free of struggle. They paused in the sunlit living room, a space created not for impressing guests, but for quiet moments of family togetherness. Suddenly, the father took Leo's hand, turning it over to reveal the fresh calluses that had formed during the construction. Tears finally spilled from the old man's eyes as he traced the rough skin, recognizing the sacrifice his son had made. They embraced tightly the successful architect and the retired laborer, united by the understanding that love is an action, not words. That evening, the house was filled with the sounds of laughter and clinking cutlery, christening the new walls with family joy. Watching his parents, Leo realized that this modest home was the greatest masterpiece of his entire architectural career. Their hands lay on the table, different in age, but identical in the story they told of hard work and devotion. As the sun set, the house glowed warmly against the twilight, standing as a beacon of a son's gratitude to his parents. Leo sat on the porch, reflecting on how a simple question about rough hands had guided him to this exact moment. The cycle was complete. The hands that once built a foundation for him were now resting in a home built by him. We often search for success in the outside world, forgetting that the most important foundations are laid within our own families. True success is not measured by the height of the towers we build, but by the comfort we provide our loved ones. Leo found a peace in this garden that the city could never offer, grounded by the reality of soil and family. Now a new generation played on the floors, protected by the legacy of hard work passed down from grandfather to father. The grandfather told stories to the little ones, teaching them that rough hands are nothing to be ashamed of in life. Leo smiled, knowing that the lesson of the calloused hands would live on, inspiring strength and love in his own children. These moments of connection are the bricks that build a happy life, held together by the mortar of shared experiences. From above, the house looked like a white pearl nestled in green, a monument to a son's gratitude and a father's love. As the stars filled the night sky, the lights of the home burned bright, a beacon of hope in a dark world. Leo continued his work, but his designs changed. They became warmer, more human, focused on connecting people rather than impressing them. He began designing schools and community centers, wanting to extend the feeling of home to those who needed it most. When he later won a prestigious award, he dedicated it not to his team, but to the man with the rough hands. His parents watched from the audience, their hearts swelling with pride, knowing their sacrifices had built something far greater than walls. But the award did not stay in his office. It was hung in the hallway of the retirement home, beside the family photos. Seasons changed, leaves fell, and flowers bloomed, but the love within those walls remained constant, unshaken by the passage of time. History repeated itself beautifully as the grandfather guided the small hands of his grandson, teaching him the value of honest work. Leo watched them, realizing that he was now the bridge between the past and the future, the protector of this legacy. 3 generations of hands, each telling a different story, yet all bound together by the invisible, unbreakable thread of family blood. The world is full of magnificent structures that reach for the clouds and defy gravity with their engineering and sheer scale. But none of them compare to the humble beauty of a home built with gratitude, designed to shelter those we hold dear. Sometimes the most profound conversations between a father and son happen in silence in the shared quiet of a job well done. Life is made of these simple moments, shared fruit, shared stories, and the comfort of knowing you are exactly where you belong. As the sun sets on his parents' lives, Leo ensures their final years are bathed in the golden light of comfort. He held their hands tight, a silent promise that he would always be their pillar, just as they had been his. Bricks and mortar can build a house, but only love, patience, and sacrifice can truly build a home that lasts forever. Leo's journey teaches us that our greatest achievements are not what we build for the world, but what we build for family. From a curious boy to a master architect, the most important lesson he ever learned came from his father's rough, calloused hands. The house stands silent in the night, a physical manifestation of a story that began with a father's sacrifice decades ago. Let this story remind us all to appreciate the rough hands and tired backs that pave the way for our own success. Take a moment today to look at your parents' hands, for in their lines and scars lies the map of your life. Don't wait until it's too late to build your own tribute to them, whether it is a house or simply your time. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey of architecture memory and the enduring power of a father's love. If this story touched your heart, please share it with your loved ones and help us spread the warmth of family. Subscribe to Heart of Home for more stories that celebrate the bonds that make us who we are. Goodbye for now.